Joshua, I want to address the gorilla in the room from the very outset of this tasting video. We are here to celebrate Williamson, which not everybody is going to know. We need to be a little coy. We need to be a little careful. Contracts are in place here. Agreements are in place here. But please listen carefully when we say Williamson is an Islay whiskey.
Yes.
Already have your attention. It is a South Shore Islay whiskey. There are 3 distilleries, soon to be 4, but for the purposes of today, there are 3 South Shore distilleries. In no particular order, Ardbeg, Lagavulin, Laphroaig. Those are the 3 South Shore distilleries. We can tell you this is neither Ardbeg nor Lagavulin. We cannot tell you what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a nice little connection to one of our Woodcut series bottlings, the old Laughing Frog, right? Our 28-year-old Islay that we couldn't
You would
really...
think this was easier than it is. There you go. Boom. Laughing Frog
there
right there, my friends. Laughing Frog.
So we've bottled whiskeys from this distillery before.
Named in the early days. Different
right
contract.
Yep. A 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old for retail, part of our first retail bottlings.
10, yeah, that was a cracker as well.
But what I love about this Laphroaig, and what I love about sort of younger Laphroaig, oh shit.
Oh, you're just talking about the distillery. You're just
the distillery, yeah.
Yes, you love bottlings from the Laphroaig distillery.
I do.
I am with you. I'm with
you.
Right?
And so
yep, I'm with you.
When I think about their own younger bottlings, I'm finding some connective tissue to our Williamson here.
Oh, I like that tack. Okay, yeah. Personally, Laphroaig, long-time favorite Islay distillery of mine. Yeah. If we're just talking about the distillery that sits on the South Shore of Islay.
Yeah. But what I love about these young Islay whiskeys, right? This is where the wood hasn't had the time to add as much to the experience, right? The wood is sometimes a bit restrained to let that Islay character push through and say, pay attention to me. And what I really like in these cases is you get to experience the true essence of that distillery.
Yeah, and I would say this Laphroaig, that for new members, we bottled this in 2016. Longtime members will remember this fondly. But I just picked it up. Look at the char.
We would call that detritus, Jason.
No, that's char, my friend. This is refill bourbon, right? And so I don't want to make out like we happen to stumble upon a refill bourbon cask, South Shore Williamson. We look for refill bourbon.
Exactly.
That fits our palates. That works for us. Bright, fresh, peppery, salty, briny, coastal, sea breeze, beach blanket. It's all in there. It's all exciting stuff.
Yeah.
This at 8, right?
Right. And this one at 8. And what I like about this, it highlights this more modern characteristic of this distillery, where years back it was, despite its heavy peaty characteristics, it had a fruitiness, and there is fruit on this. I'm not saying there isn't, but more modern distillate gets you some minerality to it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We talk, one of my favorite notes is petrichor.
Yep.
It's that smell of fallen rain that is so comforting. And we talk about gravel paths and sea salt and white pepper and charcoal, and just it's one of those whiskeys that sometimes we talk about whiskeys about transporting you back in time. This whiskey transports you to a place, and that is specifically the South Shore of Islay. Smells of the warehouse, right? It smells of the land. Fucking love it.
Yeah, and I think particular to this distillery, there was always a pork crackling note or a cold bacon grease note. to some of this distillery's younger offerings.
Mm.
And the barbecued meats in this example, I think, are unmistakable on the palate.
Yeah, but here's an interesting thing, and this is a note that I often get when a sherry cask is introduced, right? Is this rich dark chocolate across the palate, which that dark chocolate sweetness, slight bitter quality going on.
So you're talking sherry cask. To be clear, this is not sherry cask
That's
for
what
the
I'm saying. Like normally you
nation.
would get that by way of a sherry
Yeah.
cask, but here we are, and let me just make sure. You're right. It's refill bourbon, meaning
Right.
this cask was used probably 3 times. This may be the 3rd use of this cask. So it's actually the distillery's own distillate
Yeah.
that is likely
Yeah.
bringing forth
Yeah.
those dark chocolate notes. It's great.
Yeah, that has to be a grain-driven quality, right?
Mm,
That's
mhm.
yeah,
Texture?
texture that we're known for, right?
Mhm.
And even as I was listening to you, right, my glass, I'm just watching the beads on my glass, and they're just
Yeah, right.
traveling
Yeah.
so slowly,
Yeah.
so slowly.
I was just happy you're listening to me. That's we're off to a good start.
I threw that into for your enjoyment.
Um,
Oak, the oak returns on the finish,
oh,
right?
it
We're
does,
talking
right?
refill, we're talking multi-use here. We're talking about spirit really shining through, and yet there's oak spice on the back end of this. There's still a bit of life in this cask. It's still kicking. It's not going down without a fight. Yeah,
No.
Jesus, you could drink that all day and twice on Sundays. Can I give a tasting note here
Yeah, please do.
from the label?
All right.
How can you argue with the delicious nature of sweet coal smoke, seaweed, black pepper, and barbecued meats? The oily texture and long lasting finish are just what you'd expect from this iconic Islay distillery. It's a winner every day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
57.8.
for people who chase this distillery, who know this
Yeah.
distillery,
Yeah.
it is an absolute home run. I would argue it's not just a home run. There may be an RBI involved in this. I'm just saying that. Right? Does that work for the football players out there?
Moving on to price and availability.
So, again, 8 years, all 8 years in refill bourbon, 57.8% alcohol. This Williamson is 110 per bottle. You can find it at singlecasknation.com. If you are already a member, pop a couple bottles into your cart. If you're not a member yet, you can do the same, and actually purchasing a bottle allows you to become a member.
I will say branded single cask selections from this distillery are not $110 a bottle.
Now, you
You
may want to
can
add 165 to that.
you can immediately remove the first one for a 2 and then go north. So I don't, we're drinkers here at the nation. The nation knows this.
And that's what you come to expect. We bottle drinkers, fair pricing, great liquid, meant for opening, meant for sharing, meant for maybe grabbing a bottle to open now and one to bunker for later.
100%. I will cheers to that, Josh, and I will cheers to the nation.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.